bad research ratio and how research works in Imperator Rome. So I just conquered a big chunk of land and this one popped up. Bad research ratio. So what the heck does this mean and how do we fix it? We're going to break this one down and we're going to go through this in a way so you really can understand it. So this tooltip says that our citizens produce 116.86 research points each month, and that's a combined amount of 1,402 for each year. It also says that our population is 2,152, and based on all of this we get an efficiency of 65.1% for our research. So what does this mean? So first off, when it comes to the population, that is the total amount of people living in our nation. And then when it comes to research points, it is all the research that is created each month. And then you take the yearly amount of research points and divides it with the total amount of population. 1,402 divided by 2,152. And that number is your research efficiency. For a research efficiency of 100%, we need to have a yearly output of research points that matches the total number of our population. And in this game, the pops that are creating research are the citizens. So if you conquer land and you get more of other pops than citizens, that means your research ratio will go down. A good example on this is this city I just conquered. You have 1 citizen, but you have 2 freemen, 7 tribesmen, and 2 slaves, which means your population will grow by much more than your research points, and that will increase the bad research ratio. So how do citizens create research points? So let's take a look at, we could pick our capital here. I have 44 citizens, and right now they give me 13.16 in research power. And the basic numbers is that each citizen give you 0.25 research each month. And then that number is affected by other things. And these other things combined is the output efficiency. So as you can tell from this tooltip here, right now the output efficiency is 119.50, and due to the following: happiness, it's a capital region, it's the capital area, it's the capital city. We can do the math here so you guys can see that it's actually working out. So if each citizen as a baseline give you 0.25 research points, and you take that times 44, the number of citizens I have here in my capital, that gives you the number of 11. And then you times that with the output efficiency, and you get a number that's rounded up matches the research points. And then we take this number for every single city in my nation, and we get to the number of 1,412 for each year, or 116.86 for each month. So to get rid of this bad research ratio, we need to do one of two things. We could either get more citizens, so citizens produce research, or we could increase the current citizens' output. And as you can tell from this tooltip, when it comes to output efficiency, one of the main things we have is average happiness. That has a huge effect on their output, which means, for example, in the provinces are newly conquered, yes, here we have a citizen. But if we click him to get some more information, we can tell that he is very unhappy, which means if we go back to the city and hover this one, we could tell that currently it gives us 0 research. So even though we have a citizen, it doesn't give us anything at all because his happiness is 0. And that's one of the main reasons when you conquer new land that there's a big chance of this popping up. So before we get into how to improve happiness, we could take the easy way and just promote some pops to citizens. We can take a few here. Let's see. And there it is. The bad research ratio disappeared. It wasn't harder than that to have them go away. But of course, it costs you power points to promote citizens. And even now, if you go to the technology screen, yeah, we got it up enough to not be a bad research ratio. but we're still only getting 66.10%. So what we need to do is we need to find ways. If we want this number to go up, we need to find ways to make our citizens happy, because that means they will produce more. One key thing to make citizens happy is to build marketplaces. And why, you may ask us, when you look at the tooltip, it says, yeah, it gives tax, it gives commerce, it gives civilization level, but nothing here says anything about happiness or output. Well, the reason why this have a huge effect is because of the civilization level. So the civilization level affects a lot of different things in a positive way. And one of these things is a huge positive effect to local citizens' happiness. As you can tell from my city here, with a civilization value of 47, it increased my local citizens' happiness by 47.6%. And that, of course, will have a huge effect on their output efficiency. And another thing when you want to get high research is to focus your citizens in your capital, aside down here, because the capital is getting so many bonuses. As you can tell, 25% for being the capital city, 25% for being the capital area, and 25% for being in the capital region. And if you're struggling on when it comes to citizens, that's the best place to get them. And of course, you could, if you're struggling with manpower, focus manpower in your capital, or focus slaves or money. But usually, as your empire grows, the research ratio will be the big one. But there are other ways to get the research ratio up. For example, you could go to trade routes, and you could trade for papyrus. If you have it in your city, it increases research point by 20%. And for each surplus, it will give another 5%. And if you're exporting it, it will give another 5%. So papyrus is huge if you want to boost your research. There's also earthenware that increase research point with the 5% and another 1% for each surplus. But of course, we could go for happiness or output too. And if we get dice, for example, it will increase local citizens' happiness, which means it will also increase local citizens' output. And dice is actually special because if you have a surplus in the capital, first we get 10% citizens' happiness because we have it. And then we get an extra 5% local citizens' happiness because we have a surplus. And then if you have the surplus in the capital, you're going to get another 5% when it comes to output. And even if you have extra, you could export it for another 2.5%. So dice, great for research. But we don't have to go through all the trade goods here. You can look them through by yourself at your own pace. You can also go for laws that affect the citizens. For example, right now I'm using the integration laws Lex Canolia, which gives me 5% citizen happiness. But instead, when you are going to promote a lot of citizens, because maybe you have a few of them, you could go for this one that decreases the citizen promotion cost. There are a lot of things that affect POP's happiness and output, and I won't go through them all in this video, but if you want some more advices on how to keep them happy and improve the output, take a look at my POP's guide. I'm going to link it in the description below. There's also character traits that will affect research and can both increase it and decrease it. For example, this lad here has a scholar trait, and if he is appointed governor, it increases the research points by 10%, and if he is appointed as ruler, it will increase technology speed. So if we go to the technology screen, first off we can see the research points we are making each month, and it also tells what affects it from the citizens and from an export we have and from stability. And let's talk stability for a moment. Stability is actually extremely good in this game, and you really want to bump it up as quick as possibly. It gives more tax, it gives more popularity to your ruler. If you have subjects, it makes them more loyal, and it gives more research points. And you get stability from the religion screen. I do it by sacrificing pigs to the gods. Right now, we are at maximum stability, so that's why I can't click the button right now. Another thing based on the religion screen that affects your research is the omen. And the omen can give you different types of bonuses in this game. One of them is a omen that increases research points. So this could definitely be worth using if you are falling behind on research. So let's take a look at the technology screen. And first off, you can see the amount of research points we have and some stuff that affects it. You can see your research efficiency. Even though the tooltip here about bad research have disappeared, we can see the ratio here, and we probably realize that we still want to improve this one. Right here we can see the monthly research. And our monthly research is 0.367. And the way the game come up with this number is it took our research ratio, the 66.1%, and it divided it by 180 months. If you take 66.10 divided by 180, you will get a number close to the 0.36 you see here, or the more detailed 0.367 that you see in the tooltip. And what the monthly research affects is these advances. So each advance here will give you more inventions that you can pick, and these inventions of course great for your nation. And if you take a look at this bar, when this bar is filled up, you have managed to research the next level. So you can tell the current level, and it's going to be level 3, 4 and so on. But if we take a look at the tooltip here, it can tell that the monthly increase of this research bar, the progress, is the base of 0.36, this number. And then it's affected by different things like trade goods you have. It's affected on who you have assigned to each role. So the high, for example, here for martial advances, I have a guy with 11 here in martial, and compare that to this lousy lad I probably should replace. He has only a skill of 7 in what he's researching. That's basically why you can see this huge difference. You have 80% here compared to 120. This one is increasing with plus 0.8 each month, while this is only advancing with plus 0.66 each month. And these advances is really important for your nation. Whenever you get to a new level for martial or a civic or so on, you get new available inventions from that category. But not only that, as you can tell from the tooltip, each level has some direct effects. For example, with the military advances right now, when we reach the next level, our armies will get more morale, our navies will get more morale, but they also come with some negative costs like increased maintenance. Inventions can actually increase your research too. There are a lot of different inventions that affects research in many different ways. Everything from technology speed to production output to research output. Right now, I'm going to pick one that increases national citizens output. As you can tell, we're currently at 72.9 research efficiency. And now we're going to pick up this one that increases national citizens output. And they, of course, increase research points. And then we're just going to move on here until the next month. And when the monthly ticks happens, you should see the number update. And yeah, look at that. Now we're at 76.33 research efficiency. I hope you found this guide helpful, and if you did, please press that like button, and if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.